Big action set piece. Big action set piece. Hello and welcome
back to the channel.
We are here and we are ready for Final Reckoning and Dead Reckoning. Well, Dead Reckoning and then Final Reckoning. But anyways, we are back. So strap yourselves in, like the video, subscribe, and comment something. You know, I need some constructive criticism, if you will. But anyways, with all that out of the way, we're talking about Dead Reckoning and Final Reckoning. So I feel like these two movies should be together, but they really don't feel together. They don't feel like parts. They feel like they're trying to be their own movies, but they're following the same plot line, you know? I feel like they just could have made 3 movies out of this, like how they did with the last 3 movies, but yeah, it's okay. So, overall, Dead Reckoning, upon rewatch, and I really rewatched this one a lot, I don't think it's a bad film. I don't think it's as bad as people say it is. I don't feel like it's like I know people are like, oh, this is a terrible film. It's not as cool as the last 3. It's not as crazy, you know? The villain, I feel like you could have tied something so much better than it being like his first wife. I saw this on it. I think it was an Instagram post or a Reddit post or maybe a TikTok where they were described. You know, if you guys find this, then you know, make sure to tell me because I'll tag them. But like, it was like their where they said they should have made it like Ethan Hunt's sister, where he actually like killed her, and like it would have been a whole revenge plot, making it more personal for Ethan, and not really making it his first wife, and you know, oh, he's a criminal. And I feel like they went into more depth with his character with this one. I like that they did that for the 3rd one, but for this one they didn't do it really. They didn't do it justice with all these like, oh my god, he's this maniac, you know, he's this crazy guy. And overall, I thought it was okay. It was a good film watching it the first time. It's a great film rewatching it because I feel like it kind of follows the same formula as the last 3 movies. I really like the airplane scene or airport scene. I really enjoyed that. I liked Haley Atwell's character. I thought she had a lot to do with her whole pickpocketing, her whole dilemma. I liked her as a character. I really enjoyed that they took the time to flesh out each and one of these characters a little better. Ilsa,
You just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
Y'all know that I love the Ilsa character. I don't like that they killed her off. I mean, I get it, the actress wanted to leave, but I don't like the way they killed her off very easily, you know? I don't like that they could have saved her for a different film. They could have saved her for some other film, and they couldn't have just killed her off for just this film, you know? They felt like it was just setting up just to kill her off. And I feel like they just tried to hurry up and replace Ilsa's character with Haley Atwell's character. I feel like it was a little bit rushed at that point, or at that kind of scene. I thought it was alright. Gabriel, I feel like he has a striking villainous aspect to it, but it wasn't as villainous as the past villains that we had. I like the hello Ethan, you know, and I thought it was okay. I liked Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill's pretty sick. And the guy, Jim Phelps, I thought he was a pretty striking villain. I really thought they did a lot with this film, but they didn't do too much. I felt like it was too much setting up the next film. I like the entity in this one. It actually felt like a real threat. I like that it felt like, oh my god, all our tech is gone. Oh my goodness, what the hell is going on? It felt really good. I feel really felt like it was somewhere, like they were doing something with this, you know? I felt like they were setting up to be an actual villain. I like that Gabriel was like his own little disciple. It was basically God and Gabriel being the disciple, but you know, I thought it was okay. The keys, finding all the keys, thought it was amazing. You know, because there always has to be like a MacGuffin. There always has to be some way to get all the characters together to kind of like, oh my God, we gotta get this item. You know, we always have to have something, some mission, you know, and try to get it impossible. And you always have to have that little step. I thought it was really nice. I thought it was really great. The big stunt, him driving the bike off. I felt like I've already seen it too much. You know, I've watched basically a lot of the behind the scenes. I've watched a lot of trailers before I watched this film back when it first came out, and I felt like, oh my God, you know, how many fucking times have I seen this scene already? I thought there was gonna be another big stunt, but apparently that was the only one that they did. And I felt like it was a little lackluster because I was like, oh, you know, the stunt that I've been hyped up to see, and they've hyped it up so much to the point where I was like, this is, I've already seen the scene. I've already seen this movie thing, you know? And overall, I feel like this film is just more setting up the next one. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Killing off Ilsa brings it down a notch, but overall, this film for me gets a solid, I feel like it's a solid 7. It's not bad, but it's pretty good. It's watchable. It's rewatchable because I feel like it's a lot better than the second one. It's a lot better than the fourth and the fifth. Yeah. But moving on to the next one, we have Final Reckoning. Oh my God. Oh my Lord. You might want to sit back. You might want to, you know, I don't know if you're like sitting at work. I don't know if you're on your lunch break or anything and you're watching this or you're listening to this on your auditory earphones. I just want you to know this, that I
Fucking hate this film.
Okay, now that we're done with that segment, I thought this film wasn't, I thought it wasn't good. When I first watched it, because I watched this one with my dad and my brother, so the whole plot of this thing is shutting down the entity. These past 2 movies, these last 2 movies, shutting down the entity, one thing straight. You know, you get the keys last one, you get the MacGuffin, what you need. Now all you need to do is just find the submarine. And of course, you can't just find the submarine for the whole movie and you're done, you know? Instead, you have to create a new MacGuffin and another one so you have something of an imposing threat to get it. Okay, I can work with it. But why do we need to have our characters a little bit separated? I feel like there's a lot of characters separated in this film. I know it's like, you know, COVID related. I know this was during like the lockdown. Like everyone had to work with masks and they had to kind of be all separated. But I feel like Ethan with his team, goated. Everyone is all working together. In this one, when he works alone, I'm like, I really wish that we had more of the characters in it. And him working with the characters. Because I like that. That's what makes Mission Impossible for me, is when all the characters are working together to get the thing done. That for me is what makes Mission Impossible fun. I know he does his little stunt at the end, and you know he separates from the team at the end. I'm okay with that, but I'm not okay with him being across the world and like, oh, we had to time it like this, time it like that, and you know, it gets too confusing. Overall, this film is not a bad one. I like the action. I like the action that they use. I don't like the comedy bits. I don't like it feels a little forced at points. Like for example, the beginning when he gets captured with Haley Atwell's character. I think it was Grace. Grace is her name. When he gets captured with her, there's this little fun bit of like, like where she's like reacting to him taking like beating up all the people, and she's like, ooh, oh my gosh. And he's like, oh, I promise I won't, like, you know, like, I won't let anyone hurt you. I won't let anyone like, do that. And I'm like, I was like, come on, man. You could have flipped the camera and showed what they were doing. I mean, they show the aftermath, but I'm like, just simple little, it's supposed to be like comedy beats that I'm like, why was this included in the movie? You know, that's just me. And I felt like the villain, I felt like he was so tonally like up here. They were trying to set him up as this big bad villain for the last finale. And like last movie, he kind of felt like an impact, but then he went all the way down here. He's not terrifying in this one. He's just like, I've heard people call him a cartoon character. He basically is a cartoon villain. He's like, oh, I'm gonna run away from you, Ethan. Come catch me if you can. And he flies away with his airplane. And I'm like, bro, why? Why was this needed? Because you set him up as this big bad villain and you don't pay it off. Okay, last movie, Dead Reckoning, right? Gabriel killed like his first wife or something, like his girlfriend or something. Someone very close to him, and that's why Ethan's like, oh, he's like, you don't know Gabriel, you know, you don't know him like I do. So in this film, like, it doesn't pay that off. He just basically kills him, and then he just floats off on his parachute. And I'm like, what the f? You didn't bother to like, oh, you know, this is for my wife, pow. No, all you do is just like kill him off, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna play the recording of Luther. That's also another thing. Luther, oh jeez, bro, they killed him. Okay, I get it. It was a good death. Made me cry. You know, I cried. You know, my brother saw me crying, and I was like, I wasn't crying, but I was crying, dude. I swear to you, I thought, like, I knew from the trailers that, I was like, where the hell is Luther? Why isn't he much in this film, you know? I knew from this film, like, he wasn't gonna be, like, in much in this movie, but I didn't know he was gonna be removed from this movie, and I'm like, because he killed off one of my 4 favorite horror characters that kind of brought a lot of heart to this film. So, I just feel like they had a lot set up for this film, and it didn't really pay off, if that makes sense. And I really like you know, we're gonna blow up, we're gonna send everything nuclear, and, you know, before the entity does, the entity just thrown out the window. It's not a villain at all. It's not even a presence in this movie. Like last movie, you're setting it up as, oh my god, we gotta take off our glasses, you know, oh, it's like, you know, so like they don't mess with our comms or anything. But for this movie, I feel like they get away with a lot of things that the entity could have interfered with. They could have, you know, messed with. Like last movie, they did where the entity was messing with Ethan while he was trying to find Grace and Ilsa, and using AI Benji's voice, but in this movie, there's none of that, and I feel like it's very like, why are we doing this? You know, this film, it lacks so much of the story that I feel like it should have needed, and I really liked the action. I really enjoyed that. I really liked the character of Paris, dude. When I saw her when they broke her out of jail, I liked that they brought her back for this film. She was like Ilsa 2.0, you know, not as good as the first, but she was pretty good. I really enjoyed her. I liked her acting. I liked that they added in Greg Tarzan Davis's character. I'm just gonna call him Greg, but I thought it was pretty good. I thought that him leaving his IMF team was pretty good. I liked that they brought back John Donlow, or Don Downlow. I didn't know him, but I do know he was from the first one. I like that they brought him back from the first film. I like that they kind of tied things a little bit better. By better, I mean, okay, so I'm kind of comparing this to the James Bond films. The James Bond films, in Spectre, they try to tie everything all together, and they did it horribly. They did it not very, very well. You know, I'll save this for my rant, you know, and for my next videos of the James Bond series. Them tying up little plot holes, or like not really plot holes, but like they're just trying to connect this universe a little bit better. I really enjoyed it. I really thought it was okay. It's not a rewatchable film, I will say. It is probably, if I were to rank them, I would probably put this one in the last 3, you know, because it's not my favorite. I feel like they had so much going on for it, but they didn't put like their all into it. I really enjoyed the big submarine part. Pretty cool, pretty insane. I felt like that felt more real than the one in Rogue Nation was, you know. It was pretty good, but like I said, it's just the payoff of this. It's like this is like Endgame paying off the rest of the MCU franchise, but it's not as good as Endgame. I feel like it should have been Endgame. It should have been the payoff to it. You know, it should have been a payoff to the entire franchise. It started off good. It started off okay. Or like the second movie was, you know, it was alright, but the third movie reset itself and it started getting better after that, leading up to Dead Reckoning. You know, it was okay, but Final Reckoning was supposed to knock it out of the park with this cool, exciting adventure, but overall it did not satisfy me. You know, it did not satisfy me as a viewer, you know, watching the film. Like it didn't feel like the end. It didn't feel like a payoff to the franchise. It felt like more of like just another bad movie, you know. The series should have ended at Fallout. And honestly, you know, overall, I thought this movie was okay. It's not my favorite, that's for sure. So, overall, that's just kind of my rant about it. But overall, I hope you all enjoyed this kind of movie rankings of my Mission Impossible movie overviews. And I will catch you all in the next one. I hope you have a wonderful day. And stay tuned for more. Subscribe and like and comment something, you know? Alright. Have a good day, y'all.
I don't like this film because this film is fucking... It rips me to pieces.